Perhaps we could take a look at this word, maybe look on the other side of the word, look where the word points to. To create means to bring forth from nothing. There was nothing there, and then something is created. I guess the religious people would call it a miracle. However, it is what we are each of doing, capable of doing. We can each create. And I'm wondering if it's possible to find well, I've been looking for 41 years. People who care to create a new human for themselves first, of course, and then perhaps a new world, a new planet. I've been speaking of it now, as I've said, for 41 years, and looking for the possibility of critical mass, the energy needed to bring forth new. New meaning that which has not been before. Here on planet Earth, in our history and our memory and in all of our far-reaching backwards, we have no history. Well, except the Garden of Eden. We have no history ever of peace on Earth. We only have Genghis Khans and the rest of the Hitlers and Trumps and Bushes and the people who just kill, just maim, just go to war. And what we need to realize is that we each of us are the reason that we go to war. It isn't them. They are the manifestors. They do manifest the war. However, we direct it. It's our own anger. It's our own have to be right. It's our own control. It's our own, no matter what, it has to be our way. No matter what, I'm right. All of that is why we go to war. Okay, Edake. Michelle. So, is it possible then for you to consider something? And the something I'd like for you to consider is to create. And here's a little tidbit about create. When you create, first place, there's no way of teaching you how to create. However, we can point at the dynamics behind or needed to create. So to create first requires that it not come from knowledge and thought and belief. it needs first to come from the negation of those, because knowledge, thought, and belief are all of our past. They're of our history. They're already gone. However, we keep living in them, so we bring them from our history, we bring them into our present, and in our present, we invent our history again, and then so we're in an ever repeating circle. Creation happens outside of that circle. Creation ends the circle. To create is to bring forth from nothing. And here's kind of a strange thing about it. There isn't anything to do after you create. Nothing. Well, there's a bit of a lie there. Still, there's nothing you need to do after you create, and you need to do what shows up next after you create, but not to manifest the creation. It will show up in a manner in which only you can recognize. You will see that that's the thing to do. By the way, I'm failing completely at describing what to create is, but that's because I'm dumb. Well, not only that, there is no description. You can't describe. You cannot understand. If you understand, that's the highest point of thought, and it's still thought. So if you reach the point of understanding where Einstein and Tesla, many of the people have been, from there, you need to dive off of a high dive without looking down to see if there's any water. I dove off the high dive 41 years ago. I haven't found out if there's any water yet. So in this searching that I'm doing, it has its own finder. I know this all is going to really sound strange. If you've ever watched any of the other videos, if you haven't watched any of the other videos, then what I'm saying here it just won't be caught. And if you have, it still would be kind of difficult. Because the place I'm speaking from is the place of nothing. There's nothing here. Nothing. Unless I reach into the dimension of knowledge and thought and belief. And there's a whole bunch of something. It's crazy. There's people who grab women between the legs. There's wars, there's killing, maiming, murder, people fighting. They actually get married. They even have, this is the time of the year they have talking snakes and virgins who pop babies out, and the babies become water-walking winemakers, and the father who ran away and left the carpenter to raise the baby is now in the clouds, sending everybody to hell if they curse, and all that stuff is in the dimension of knowledge and thought and belief. In this dimension from which I'm speaking, there's nothing. There's no thing. It's new. As a matter of fact, you're hearing what I'm going to say. When I'm hearing it, I'm saying, what the hell am I saying? These people are going to think I'm crazy. On the other hand, they already do, so. So again, I ask this question. Are you willing, can you consider, is it possible for you to accept the possibility that you can create. And in actuality, to use the knowledge, thought, and belief domain, to create means bring forth a miracle, for a miracle to happen. However, I'm suggesting that you could be the miracle happening. You don't have to wait for a whatever they are up there, or whatever he is, whatever, because you can be the miracle. Now, you have to be real cautious here, because miracle is the mirror image of what I'm speaking of. What I'm speaking of is creation, to create, bring forth from nothing. A miracle is something that everybody gives, lordy, lordy, the Lord is great. So, is it possible for you to consider that you can become the miracle that we need? I'm using we. There are a few, so. Critical mass. Critical mass happens when there's enough energy to move sentient beings. You whoop, whoop, over here to over here. And it's possible for you to be a miracle maker. What the hell am I talking about? I don't know how I got off onto this, but I'm going to have to stay with it now that I am. It's possible for you to actually bring forth within yourself peace, being free, to be free, and to create a collective peace, for us to be free. You have that possibility. And it's really simple. All it takes is you have to drop everything you are right now, everything you have invented yourself to be. You have to drop every God you hold in your mind, every belief you hold, everything that not only have you been taught, everything that you have taught yourself. All of it. What's the baby, the bathwater must go out. But not just the baby in the bathwater. The baby, the bathwater, the house, the hot water heater, the whole out, all of it gone. Once it's all gone, then it'll just be you and nothing. Nothing else, you see. When there's nothing else, then there's no violence, there's no belief, there's no attachment, there's no, I have to have this, or, oh, I love that. There's no, give me some more chewing gum. I got to have a beer. I got to have some, what they call oxycodone. I got to, all that stuff. What it means is you're alone. Everything's gone. You're living in the unknown. And from the unknown, you can bring forth, just to keep the continuity here, I'll use the word miracle. A miracle, which is you can create internal peace and collective peace. If you keep one thing as a consideration, it must be first internal peace. You must internally be free first. You cannot free other people unless you're free. You cannot bring forth peace within planet Earth unless you are peace. Because, here I go with another religious thing. The means can never ever justify the end, or the end can never justify the means. Either way you care to look at it, both of them must be pure. So, we are at 15 minutes and 20 some seconds. I'm told that the attention span of people on planet Earth is less than this, so I've already gone past it. A perfect experience of creating a new you that lives in peace because they are free is sent to each of you. Thank you.